about to check out Matt Walsh. I agree with him on a lot of things, but I disagree with his stance on anime. Whatever. You can like somebody and still disagree. Perfectly fine. I want to check out what he has to say about Andrew Tate and Andrew Tate's supporters. This might get real, man. This might get real. Don't forget to hit the like button, as well as drop some comments and subscribe if you haven't.
Discussion about the crisis of masculinity and the rise of Andrew Tate. And to very briefly summarize the key points made in that conversation, boys are growing up in a culture that is openly hostile to masculinity, and many are forced to navigate the minefield without the benefits of strong male role models to show them the path. And this crisis is self-perpetuating. It grows exponentially because the young men with absentee fathers eventually become absentee fathers themselves, repeating the cycle.
That is true. That is true.
Indefinitely unto infinity.
That's why we need people like Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels, RIP. But we need people like that for the men that don't have mentors.
And into this field of confusion and man hatred steps guys like Andrew Tate and others, quickly earning an enormous following of young men who understandably flock to somebody who has a message that embraces masculinity rather than treating it like a disease. Andrew Tate, very often good at identifying the problems in our culture as they pertain to the situation that men face, and deserves credit for speaking up in defense of masculinity rather than denigrating it and calling for its eradication, essentially. But in my view, he misses the mark when it comes to the remedy. He seems to basically...
I do think that masculinity has been under attack for a long time, especially within America, but just in the world and society. They don't want men to be men, which is crazy to me. Like, good men make the world better, right? Good and strong, stable men make the world better, right? Weak ass men who act like women, that makes the world worse. I don't think, well, unless that's your kink, right? Like, women would say that they want certain things, but then what do? They try to get a man that's a man, though, right? In most cases.
Understand the disease, but he doesn't have the right prescription for it, or at least the full prescription. Yes, men should reject the programming that our culture wants to subject them to, programming which seeks to neuter and feminize them. Yes, they should work hard. They should take care of their minds and their bodies. Yes, they should strive for success, including financial success. But a life of hedonism and materialism and luxurious wealth, remaining unmarried while sleeping with dozens of different women and so on, is not the ideal to strive towards. Rather, what men are called to and created for, and the only sort of...
I think that's a misconception. I've seen Andrew Tate speak on marriage a few times. It just depends on how, like, and the type of woman.
Life that will be truly happy, that they'll find true happiness and joy in, is a life of service as protector and provider. Men, the vast majority of men anyway, are called to be husbands and fathers, to be leaders of their families. Now, they may be called to lead in other ways too, but first they must care for their families. If there's any saving our civilization at this point, which I think there is, but if there is, this is how it will be done. And this is who will do it. It's not going to be saved by influencers who are sitting in front of cameras, whether the guy in front of the camera is Andrew Tate or me or anyone else. It'll be saved through the formation.
Same. I'm on that men's rights shit hard body too. Definitely. I think that people like Andrew Tate or the Kevin Samuels or even the Rolos are extremely necessary for those group of men that didn't have mentors or a good male role model or a man in general to teach them game, bro. A lot of men grow up in competition mindset, right? Even with your small friend group, like, instead of teaching each other, in most cases, they'll go for the competition instead. And your friend would instead of telling you how to get that girl, he'll go and get that girl so he could brag to you how he got her, right? That's more common these days. So I think that men like Andrew Tate are important because they'll tell you game. This is what it is, right? This is what it is in most cases. This is how a lot of women think. This is how a lot of men do things. This is how men can be better. So I think that kind of stuff is extremely important.
And preservation,
especially
of strong,
if you're willing to debate
intact, loving, and well-led families. That is the only way. It is the only way forward. If every man in the country starts going to the gym and starts making lots of money and starts having sex with lots of attractive women, and yet they don't get married and stay married and have children and raise and love those children, then we will still be headed to ruin. It'll be a slightly different kind of ruin, but ruin all the...
I would disagree just based off the fact that me personally, I don't believe in marriage per se, right? The whole, you got to sign a contract. This is a business agreement. It's a business agreement. Why are you doing? Man, if someone rock with me, we don't need papers, right? And because that's not a business transaction, bro. Like, not to me. Right? If you really rock with me, you gonna rock with me, right? Like, be my partner. We'll be here for years rocking with each other if, don't wild out. Right? We don't need paperwork for that. Right? Like, but I don't know. I get what he's trying to say, but based off of just marriage being connected to being a business in a sense, I don't think it's necessary. So I think that you can take Andrew Tate's lessons and build relationships, find a partner or someone that you're willing to be with, and that be long term as hell, right? Maybe even forever, but you don't need the actual paperwork. There's mad relationships that have been going for a long time and never got married. For what? For like the reception, for the party, so you can have the wedding, right? And then have all the fancy stuff like the cakes and a bunch of people that you don't actually speak to and probably won't speak to after this wedding. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Have a celebration. You can have all of that without the actual paperwork.
The same. Those men themselves will ultimately find the happiness that they are able to derive in that lifestyle. They'll find that it's shallow and it's fleeting. And in the end, they'll die alone, loved by no one, loving no one, remembered by no one, leaving no legacy behind. The feminized and neutered and effeminate man that our left-wing culture seeks to create, and then this other sort of man, both unmarried, both childless, will look very similar in the end, having taken two very different paths just to arrive together.
I think I've heard Tate say that he got multiple wives, bro. Tate got shit that he never tells people, that he don't talk about, right? That he just he keeps his personal life private, right? But I've seen footage of Tate speaking on things and him speaking on kids and his wives and things of that nature, right? So Tate seemed like he found happiness. It's like he's speaking from experience. He just doesn't speak about his personal stuff, which, mind you, me either. No, nobody needs to know who I'm dating. I've seen people that hate on me be in there telling some, I wonder who he's talking to. I wonder what his girlfriend look like. Nigga, what? Why? Why would you need to know that? That's so weird, bro. All you got to know is I'm getting it out here in these streets. Not too much though. You know what I mean? I don't have the time. I'm more focused on chasing my dreams and, bringing you guys value. But if I want to, I can be out here getting it.
Together at essentially the same place.
This ain't got no who.
It's the family man, the devoted father and husband, whose different path actually leads to a different and much better conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've of course been preaching this message for as long as I've had an audience to preach to, and I have found that there are 2 or 3 basic responses or rebuttals, I guess, that I always hear from young men who may, for the most part, line up with me ideologically, but who doubt the wisdom of the get married and have kids prescription. And I was greeted with these same responses after the show yesterday and many messages and comments. What I'd like to do today is answer the objections, or at least what seems to be the one principal objection. The claim that I so often hear is that, well, marriage and family...
Sneeko said that Walsh was a bot for this. I don't agree. I think Matt is slightly misinformed on Tate, but also just has a different opinion. Yeah, I think he has a different opinion. He's more coming from the conservative standpoint of he wants the nuclear family, right? Which is nothing wrong with that. I think you can have that. I think you can say what Matt Walsh is saying and what Andrew Tate is saying at the same time, right? But I think that most of these people that I've watched give opinions on Andrew Tate, they're misinformed, right? They haven't watched him and they're not experts or whatever, and I don't expect them to be. So they get a lot of stuff wrong for what his stances are. And mind you, he just did a conversation with, is it Brittany Renner recently, where he was talking about his stances on things and they were acting all surprised. And I'm he's been saying that since day one, just because he throws some jokes in there. You know how many times I tell the chick I'm messing with to make me a sandwich? That's not a joke. I'm dead ass. Get in there and make me a sandwich. You don't got to cut the crust off. That's just crazy. More than likely, I'm going to have a sandwich roll. Anyway, I digress. There's a bunch of things he says that gets misinterpreted. And it's a shame that a lot of people just go based off of that. It's really hearsay.
My life is a trap. It's a scam, especially for men. The whole thing is rigged against us. There's nothing for a man to do but give up on the entire enterprise and go his own way.
No. Now he's talking about black pill. You're representing Andrew Tate's philosophies as if it's black pill. That's a black pill philosophy, to give up. and go your own way. Red pill is recognize reality for what it is and play the game in your way the way you're not losing. That's what it is, bro. If you want to play the game, you could just live your life in a way that you're not losing, but you're still engaging, right? So I think he's misrepresenting red pill talking points or just viewpoints.
In fact, there's a whole movement.
That's black pill that he's speaking on. Black pill motherfuckers want to just give up. I would suggest they find the red pill, but whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Movement online. Men go their own way. And that's basically the idea. Just give up on this stuff and do something else.
Nah, bro. All right. There's like, he's summarizing all of it for like certain branches. It's deep, bro. There's a bunch, especially red pill. Red pill community has not only the MGTOW community. They also have, what's his name? PUA, pickup artists. And mind you, if you're going your own way, why would you need PUA? Think about that. Why would you need to learn how to pick up a woman if you're going your own way in that full extent? I don't know. I feel like if someone who was red pill had a conversation with him, maybe he'll be a little bit more informed. Like, go talk to Andrew Tate. I would love to see that. Let me see Andrew Tate and Matt Walsh sit down. I want to see Candace Owens and Andrew Tate have a sit down actually too.
This argument was summarized in a comment from a listener named Joshua, which I'll read because I think it just is representative of this sort of mentality. He says, still sounds like Matt and most tradcons' definition of what masculinity means is exclusively through the lens of women and children's wants and needs. Unfortunately, that ideal will no longer work in the modern world with birth control, hookup culture, social media, and court systems that favor women and the denigration of traditional masculinity. I don't agree with all of Tate's views, but it sure beats Matt's prescriptions for young men. Again, I've read a great many comments making the same kind of point. A private message from another listener has a similar theme. It says, Matt, I agree with many of your opinions, but your message to men is off base. Young men follow Andrew Tate because his lifestyle is the ideal, whether you admit it or not. Wealth, fame, status, beautiful women were biologically programmed.
You're top G. I wouldn't even say I follow him. I'm a fan of Andrew Tate for sure, right? But I rock with him not because of the beautiful woman and the cars and all clothes and none of that. It's how he handles himself. I've seen him in situations before he was famous and he handled himself like a man the whole time. And I rock with the BDSM stuff. What? I'm a Dom. I understood what it was from the beginning. Doms know what's up. Right? So I rock with him for different reasons, man. And the fact that he's able to argue red pill points in such a amazing way, right? When he feels like it. And so sometimes he's like, I came here to have fun. I'm not here to have a debate, right? But he can debate and say his talking points or his viewpoints, right? And philosophies in a really good way that a lot of people are not able to. There's a reason why he became so successful in that, I guess, in that genre.
Program to want those things. Marriage is a losing game. The only solution in modern society is to reject the life of service, as you call it.
You can find a partner without being married, bro.
So what is the problem with this view? Well, to begin with, it's nothing less than a full unconditional surrender to the culture. It's true that the culture has increasingly made it difficult for both men and women to form and maintain strong, intact, lasting families.
Right.
And that's because the elites who run our society don't want you to live that kind of life. They prefer that you focus on your individual wants, on fulfilling your own needs and satisfying your own desires. That's what they prefer for you. That's the life they want for you. A self-focused life is precisely the sort of life they wish for you. Makes you easier to manipulate, less of a threat to their agenda. Not really a threat at all. I mean, if you're just out there focused on yourself.
Right. Hold on. I'm going to read this one out. You said, I used to be black pill, past tense. It's not the way. Bam. Me personally, I felt like I was heading towards the direction of black pill, some years ago. Right, when I had a lot of bad things going on, man, it was crazy out here in these streets. I felt like there was no hope. And I was heading towards that route and something smacked me upside my head. I think I was talking to someone who was black pill. They were saying certain shit and that made me think. I actually get a lot of vagina, bro. But compared to some of these stories, maybe this don't add up. Maybe I should be more, I don't know, grateful for what I do have and not worried about things that I didn't have or don't get. A black pill person would try to get a supermodel and be mad that he didn't get the supermodel and the motherfucker ain't take a shower in a week nor get a haircut, and all this stuff. His swag is horrible. Don't know how to talk to people. Never learn how to be social. All these things. Red pill person might have started like that in transition into being an alpha or a real like man, pretty much. Right. But yeah, so whenever I see someone say that they were black pilled in transition, fam, you saved yourself from a lot of like, I guess, misery and just bad times, man. Right. So I know there's people that's probably black pilled that watch me. I ain't saying I'm trying to tell you what to pick or what to choose or how to think. I just think that choosing the red pill would probably be better for your life. Right. Look at me, bro. Like, I'm not making it seem like I'm a super Chad, even though some people think I am. Okay, I'll take that. But look at me. I'm living my dream. I'm doing what the hell I want to do. I'm honest, right? Nigga, the way I get ass out here is, whoo, boy, this is just through the roof. Through the roof. I actually be turning it down because I'm so focused on trying to grind and do this entertainment stuff. So it's like, damn, I don't know, man. I think that men should find that red pill, but it's up to them, man. If they want to be blue pill or black pill,
being a consumer, buying lots of things for yourself, consuming things for yourself, and all the rest of it, you're not a threat to their agenda at all. I mean, you're going along with it. All of the things mentioned by Joshua in his comment, all of those things represent a conspiracy against the family. He's right about that.
See, I'm telling yo, fam, being grateful for what you have will take your mind out the black pill mind state. I'm telling you, bro. Because it could be worse. Me sitting there listening to black pill people's stories, and I'm like, I actually get to play. Maybe not the play I want, but I get it. If you get in where you fit in, you'll never be black pill. If you learn that one old school art form of getting in where you fit, I'm talking about within relationships as far as like men and women. Right? There might be a certain type of girl that they love men like you. Get in where you fit in, baby. Get in and go to where you are loved. Go where motherfuckers, they like you. Go where they like you. Damn, I think if you do that, black pill would be non-existent. Because there's always someone for someone, bro. Trust me. Even if you
the way the family court systems are set up, birth control, all the rest of it. It's an attack on the family.
Blue pill is the opposite of red pill. It's instead of you accepting reality and like realizing what the world is and learning how to move around within that world, you like, nah, I'm gonna just pretend that this is a movie. This is like a fucking love story, right? I have to meet my soulmate. Girls, and they never do nothing wrong ever. What? She has a male friend that she hung out with all night, came back in the morning time, smelling crazy. They just hung out and she fell asleep on his couch. Nothing went wrong. She would never do it. That's what a lot of the blue pill dudes. And a lot of people get it confused because there's something called a blue pill beta male provider, which is someone who has traits that you might see as someone who is red pill because maybe they got money, success, influence, they're respected. Right? They work out. All these things that have like the skeleton of what can help you become an even like stronger man or a high value man. And they're choosing to be simps. One example I can give off the top is Ciara's husband. What's his name? Russell, is it Russell Wilson? Let me see. I think it's Russell Wilson. I might be wrong. I want to look it up just to see. Yes, Russell Wilson. Yeah, he's a blue pill beta male. But I'm not saying he's a bad person, right? I like the religion aspect. I like that. He give praise to the Lord. I'm not mad at that. But there's certain things where it's like, to be honest, if I was him, Ciara would have never had a chance with me. I just got to call a spade a spade. Find your tribe. That's facts. That is facts. And I got the Fang gang, man. Hit the like button, guys.
So what is the answer? To give up? To give the conspirators exactly what they want? To reward them for their efforts by turning your back on the very thing they've been assaulting for decades? The family is the fortress that they have been attacking. And you can defend it with your life, or you can wave the white flag. But if you choose to surrender, then at least be honest about what you're doing. Be honest. This is not a rejection of the left's agenda, of the cultural elite's agenda. You are.
What you guys are describing, what I'm describing, is the same exact thing. Society's programming tells you that there's a fucking made up fairy tale ending. This shit is gonna be like a Hannah Montana movie where you gonna get everything. Your cake and eat it too. Easy too. Like your first try, you gonna get it. You never gonna fail. You're not gonna go through any mistakes. As well as a lot of things that's going on in society. So yes, all of us are right with the blue pill aspects of following society's programming, not seeing what reality is. That's the even more simpler term, just not living in reality, which is a lot of people, men, women.
Submitting to it. It is a submission. It's certainly not the strong or masculine response to run away and abandon your post.
Russell's a simp.
To stop fighting because the fight.
Russell's a simp. He's a good person. Right? Like I'm telling you, he has all the things that makes him a high value man, as well as the potential to be like on some real alpha giant. But there's certain things where it's like, nigga, if I was him, I would have never gave Ciara a chance. It's certain shit. Fam, I seen him and Ciara sitting there next to each other, asking each other questions for some kind of show. She's like, what's your biggest fear in life? He looks at her and goes, losing you. You full screeners. Nigga, what? That's your biggest fear in life, nigga? You ask me that, I'm gonna say all types of stuff. Being mauled by a tiger or a bear, drowning, getting on an airplane and that jank crashing, having to jump off the airplane and free fall from thousands of stories in the sky, all types of stuff. A roller coaster, fucking getting attacked by dogs, snakes, rats, anything rodent related, sometimes insects. Like I've seen an insect that was so big, it was like this. They ran up on me. I was terrified. So many things. Ghost. Perez Hilton. His face just scares me sometimes. There's something about his face just looks like he plotting something. Like he just plotting all types of things. So what the hell is he talking about? Your biggest fear in life is losing Ciara, my nigga? Like, you're bugging. Same thing with Michael B. Jordan. What is you doing? You simping for Lori Harvey, man? Come on, bro. She for the streets. They already let it be known, bro. She ain't with the committed relationship. She want the streets out here in these streets. She is the streets.
It is too different.
Ciara was the streets too. I'm not going to say Ciara's for the streets. Let me not say that. She was naive in her earlier relationships, but it's like there's no accountability. You have kids with another man. It's going to be harder for you to get into another relationship, like, because it's like a package deal. This nigga was like, I'm taking care of everybody. No questions asked. I love you so much. Hey, okay, that's possible, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe Ciara is amazing, right? Behind the scenes. Nope. She on here shaking her ass still. Publicly. This man made all these sacrifices, forgot your past. Like supporting you in everything. Bought your publishing rights for your birthday. You know how much publishing rights cost in music? Bought it all, gave it to you for your birthday. Helped you start a label. I think he paid for your label too. So you can put out music still and nobody's listening to. All of these things. And what do you do to reward him? You shake your ass like you Meg Thee Stallion in your new music video that nobody's going to watch. And you just show y'all stuff. Yeah, I say y'all stuff, not flaunting your stuff. Y'all stuff, his stuff too. You flaunting it everywhere. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. You a simp. He's a simp. He's a simp, bro. It is what it is. He ain't got no male friends that care about him. He ain't got no real male friends that care about him.
Difficult.
None.
I mean, that approaches many things, but it certainly isn't manly.
Hey, yo.
And where do you go instead? I mean, what is the next move? To give up on the family is to give up on human civilization, seeing as how there cannot be a human civilization without the family. So what's plan B after you've given up on civilization? What's next? You're also giving up on yourself, on your own legacy, your own bloodline. You are descended from a long line of men stretching back thousands of years who formed families and raised children, often under circumstances far more dire than what we face. And you're giving up on them too.
She was giving up her
you are surrendering your future and your past. You're giving up on everything. And what is your consolation prize?
You might think I'm sexy, but I'm not. That shit was hard. Ciara's first song, man. Ciara was dope. 1 2 Step was type fire. I love And I. Nigga, that's underrated. That's underrated. She actually showed some vocal ability in that. And I like her, what's the name of that damn album? The one that had Promise on it? That was like probably her best album, actually. I forgot about that album. Let me put that shit on my Spotify. But yeah, Ciara got some good songs.
Finding financial success?
Some good songs in her earlier career.
I mean, the unfortunate irony is that many of the men who give up on these things in favor of, well, I'll just focus on myself and try to be financially successful. Many of them are never even going to be financially successful. So they end up with just nothing. They end up broke and alone with nothing. But even if you find...
you see, that would never happen. You would never see me looking at my wife twerking online because, for one, don't believe in marriage. She wants to be my partner. Totally with that. That's okay. That's acceptable. But two, the moment that she would do that, she's not my partner anymore. You twerk online and you showing cheeks and you with me, you not with me. You can do whatever you want because you for the streets. I'm gonna let you know, oh, hey, you want to hang out? I don't know why you calling me. Why you asking me what we doing tonight? I'm not with you. What do you mean? Because you was out there busting it open for everyone, letting them all see our goods. I said our goods. My goods too. You let them see it all? Nah, no thank you. In fact, I don't really like girls that are on social media like that. Like, I get a different reaction when I be seeing chicks on like Instagram or something, right? Like, I see a big booty chick on Instagram in the gym working out with some short shorts. My first thing I say is, I would hate to be in this gym. Look at her distracting all these people. These young men are trying to get focused and get in shape and live their life. And she just want to flaunt for Instagram. You see, she's recording. That's why she came here. She came here to get clips of her booty cheeks out in a public workout space. And then I might think, that ass is crazy. But I don't even hit the like button. I'm not liking it. I don't like. I'm not going to let them know anything. I don't want to boost their what's the name? I guess their ego up. Another person liked my booty. Oh, that's what they're doing it for. You want to earn my attention? Can you cook? You clean? Are you annoying? Do you like certain things that I like? Can I watch movies with you? That's what gets my attention, right? Like that's what gets me to really pay attention. Like showing the booty, that's everywhere. Like that's not complicated to do. It's not complicated.
The financial success. So what? I mean, who cares about money if you have nothing meaningful to spend it on? I have money. I don't have Andrew Tate's money, but I have money. And nearly all the joy and happiness I derive from having money is that it allows me to provide for my family. That's pretty much it. That's the entire thing. That's why I like having the money, is that I find great pleasure in being able to care for a wife and 6 kids. Proud of that fact.
Like, and mind you, I understand what he's saying as far as like the cars and jewelry and the woman. Like that really don't do it for me right now. Like, fam, I don't like driving. If I was a billionaire tomorrow, I would not buy cars. Cars would probably be the last thing I buy. I would probably Uber everywhere. Right. Or if it gets too dangerous, get a bulletproof car and then get a driver. But I don't even like driving. I don't like cars. It's not my thing. I don't care how nice it look. Not my thing. Jewelry never been my thing. I used to wear a rubber band on my hand. That was my jam when I was young, a rubber band on my hand. But so I get what he's saying to where like some people might misinterpret what Andrew Tate like message is. Yeah, you should want to strive and build wealth or maybe start a business and do these things. And if you want to have fun and you're single and you want to mess with some girls or, you know, go to parties or drive fancy cars, you have that luxury, right? That's your choice if you earned it, right? But the more important thing that Andrew Tate is teaching is be a better man and earn it. You think some regular, sloppy, non-working hard dude, he's telling, yeah, you got a good chance of getting these cars too. No, nigga. He kicks people out of his program. The one that they keep calling a scam, he kicks people out if they're not working hard enough. Why would he do that if he didn't care about your success and try to bring you value? Because if you become successful through his program, that's another connection he just built. People are not thinking about it, but whatever. I might sign up for his school. How much it costs? I'll go to Andrew Tate and Sneako's class. I'll take it. I will take the class. I'll humble myself and take the class. I would love to learn. If there's something I don't know, why not? Right? I would 100% take that class, bro, if it don't cost too much.
If I didn't have them, the money would mean very little.
If it don't cost too much. Let's make that clear. And they charge an arm and a leg. I can't do it, bruv. Can't do it.
I'm sick of worrying about the government. I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
It's always the sick of worrying about the government line leading into the I'm broke that has me cracking up behind the scenes when I play that clip. So I'm sick of worrying about the government. Yo, that's me. That's me times 3. That's definitely me.
I mean, I could buy nice things and drive a fancy car and live in my nice house alone. But for what? Now, does that mean that if you start a family that you're guaranteed to live a joyful and fulfilled life? Well, of course not. It's a risk. And yes, the risks are in some ways much greater in modern times. We have all been poisoned by this demonic culture to one extent or another. We are all poisoned.
How much y'all said the class was? You said the class is 45. Oh, nah. Listen, I'm with Andrew Tate in spirit, bro. I'm with it in spirit. Keep going, brother. Keep going. I'm not paying $4,500. Nigga, I can invest that in myself, bro. I'm already on the right path. I get that's going in on me. I would buy new equipment and build my set for that much. I could build a whole set for roughly 5,000. I build a whole new set. Give y'all a new show before I just give that up. Because I already think I'm on the right path. So,
if you marry someone, you are marrying someone who has been poisoned, who has ingested the poison, who has had taken a drink from the well of modern culture. Everybody has, as have you. And yes, if things go sideways, if you're a man, you marry a woman and your wife turns out to be a disloyal vulture, or if you turn out to be a disloyal vulture, or you both do, the deck will be stacked against you in court. No, there's no question about that. Divorce may ruin your life. And, if you give your heart to someone, if you bind yourself to them, not only through the marriage vow, but then also through children you conceive together, then they will have all they need to rip your guts out and burn your life to the ground. That is absolutely true.
And then brag about it.
That's the risk. Okay. But it's a risk worth
brag
taking.
About it.
Every great joy.
F that. No, I'm not signing no contract to say someone get half of nothing. You crazy. You out your mind, bro. Why? There's no need. There's no need. You trying to get a tax break? Find another way. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be on papers to say that you love someone or have love for them and are willing to be with them for the rest of your life. You don't need papers to do that. You could do the whole process without getting the paperwork done. And
become a great tragedy if you aren't careful. Or if you have very bad luck. That's true. So is the answer then to forego all joy? To say forget about joy because it might not work out?
I know there are prenups. I'm 100% sure. But for one, prenups they're not 100% like going to work every time. I've seen prenups get thrown out in court, depending on certain stipulations, right? Whether it was cheating or whatever the stipulation is. I've seen prenups get thrown out in court. So I think, why is it necessary? Like, getting married and getting a prenup would be literally, I guess, the same as you just not doing any kind of paperwork whatsoever and just being loyal to the person. It would be the same thing. The only difference is the government's all in your shit now. I'm trying to curse less. The government's all in your stuff now. They all in your stuff now, bro. Exactly. Kyra, most jurisdictions don't follow prenuptials. There's a lot about, I don't want the government in my stuff, bro. They already in my business. Ready. I didn't even do nothing like too complicated, but because I am a walking business, the government already in my stuff. Now I got to have them in my personal life too. They got to be in whoever I'm starting a family with. Come on, bro. Come on. Nah, it's not necessary. I'm not saying they all don't work. And there are cases where especially when the system is more favorable towards women. Yeah, it gets thrown out a lot.
To embrace a life of loneliness and
But yeah, why even do the paperwork at all for that, right? I think if you have children, maybe that's can entail some people. Well, if everyone's doing what they're doing and you're vetting and making sure you're not choosing no crazy person to have your kids, everything should be good, right? Just take your time, brothers. Don't let no woman rush you into nothing. Take your time.
misery because you're worried that if you aim higher, you'll end up lonely and miserable?
Yeah, he misunderstood Andrew Tate.
You're worried that in the end, you'll end up in this state. So instead you say, well, I might as well just live in this state to begin with. Doesn't make any sense. So you take the risk and you mitigate the risk at the same time by being smart about who you marry and by grounding your marriage and your family in faith and mutual devotion and by working hard every day to hold up your own end of the bargain. Because yeah, there are some men out there who do everything right and they're great men and they're devoted to their families and they're intensely loyal and all of that, and their families fall apart anyway because they accidentally married a soulless, disloyal scumbag. I mean, that does happen.
I think that's what most of the focus should be on, preventing that and not the other stuff.
And sometimes it happens in the reverse. But that's not the majority of cases. Most of the time it takes two to tango, two to get married, two to ruin the marriage. Which means that marriage is not a mere roll of the dice. There's quite a lot you can do to secure your good fortune. That's why I never cared about the statistics. You know, when I was getting married and I heard about this, statistically, I'm not a statistic. I'm not just some number on a spreadsheet.
Right.
And neither is my wife. We're human beings.
That.
I'm not subject to statistics. Not merely subject to them. Because the one thing statistics don't take into account are choices. It's about the choices you make. Whether your marriage works or not, it's about choices that are made in the marriage. If one or both of you make bad choices, your chances are going to be very poor. If you make good choices, they won't be. That's what it is.
I get it. I get what he's saying. I just think that he's misrepresenting Andrew Tate's arguments, and that's pretty dangerous, I guess.
And yet the risk is always there. So will you live in fear of it, or will you have the courage and go forward anyway? One other thing I want to say, and this is important to say that.
He about to go in. He about to go in as if he wasn't going in already.
It's just not true. Okay. It's just not true that a life of obscene luxury and materialism and selfishness and self-service and of, sleeping with many different women and all of that. It's not true that that is the ideal, which we so often hear these days. That's the ideal. Non-monogamy, having many sexual partners. That's the ideal, they say. That's not true. Much less is it what we are biologically programmed to desire. No, it's what we're culturally programmed to desire. That is the cultural programming. But I know that it's not biological because I'm a biological organism and I don't desire that. I don't want any life but the one I have. I don't want any woman but the one I married.
I don't think you have to. You can still choose to live like that without getting the paperwork. What's stopping you? What's the argument for that? What's the reasoning? Why would you want to do that? Unless it's to get a tax exemption or something involving the government.
I mean, you could listen to that and say, well, that's not true. He's just saying. That's a cope on your part. That's resentment, envy, talking. If I could do my life over from the start, I would find my wife again and marry her again. If I lived 100 lives, I'd marry her in all of them. That's what it means to love somebody. And love is the ideal. Because it's not mere biological programming. It is transcendent. And trust me, it's well worth the risk. And that'll do it for this portion of the show as we move up.
I get it, man. I understand what he was trying to say. I just think that he misinterpreted or misunderstood what Andrew Tate's points was. But he's allowed to make his opinion, you know what I mean? And we're allowed to disagree. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the like button. Also drop some comments again. My high ass. Drop some comments. Why not? Drop some comments and don't forget to drop some comments.